Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match on the most wonderful Necroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams, starting with Team 1 up here to the north and ending with Team 2 down here in the south. Let's go ahead and start with the first player in the northwest corner of the map of Maximus Triple X. He's going first land in Ruby Red as a UEF. To his southeast, we have Tesla Max. He's going first land in Royal Purple as a Cybrin and going first land. In the middle slot, we have BRS DCCC97 going first land in Snow White as a Cybrin. Will have an advantage because he is Snow White, so he will start to camouflage himself in the terrain. To the east, we have Smithers going first land as Chevy Crimson as a Seraphim. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have the Pac-Man yellow player of Twitchy Mofo going first land as a Seraphim. So on Team 1 side of things, we have two Cybrin, two Seraphim, and one UEF. No Aeon Tech available to our players on the northern end of the map. Down here in the south, we'll start here with the southeast corner player of Hyper 2001. He's going first land as a Cybrin in forest green. A very nice choice of color there. To his northwest, we have Spectre Slave 137. He's going first land as a Seraphim. And again, he's going to be mainly a land player, at least for now. In the center slot, we have C2118 Freedom making another appearance back-to-back. He is going first land in Batman Gray as a Cybrin. To the west in Tropical Ocean Blue, we have Darth Sand. He's going first land as another Seraphim on Team 2. And again, he's going first land in Tropical Ocean Blue. And last but not least, for Team 2, down here in the south, we have Rector. I still will not be able to pronounce his name right the first time. He is in lightish red pink. He's going first land. Actually, he's going first air, not first land. Definitely a break of the mold, second air as well. And again, he is in light red pink as an Aeon. So on Team 2 side of things, for racial makeup, we have two Cybrin, two Seraphim, and one Aeon. So where Team 1 has the UEF player, Team 2 has the Aeon player. Everybody else will have two Cybrin and two Seraphim on each team. So lots of chickens and lots of monkey lords or crabs. I've seen a theme of just skipping straight to the crab. Let's go ahead and check out Reclaim here very quickly before we get some action going on. We have 67,000 Reclaim, almost 68,000, probably was 68,000 at one time, but that is a lot of mass. And of course, speaking of mass, all the mass points on this map, there are so many. We have just on the, let's just cut the map in half going horizontal. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can probably call this 8 sets of 3 mass points. That's a lot of mass for our players to scoop up. We have a fight here to the east with some Selens versus some other Selens. And they're just, throwing pot shots at one another. A bunch of Selens are the name of the game here for Spectre Slave, pumping out those intel bots, ensuring that they get a nice readout on the game. Smithers as one of them. You can see the range that they have available to them. They can shoot right outside of their vision, but it doesn't really matter because there are 2 comms here on the eastern side here for Team 1, and this will shut down pretty much any push out here from all these Selens. They, of course, are very weak. True Autism says right side, Sarah, only True Autism. Don't forget to drop, says 2118 Freedom. Yeah, going for the middle. They're middle plateau. There's nothing in the actual middle of the map. There's 2 not transports. There's 2 mass points, and that's it. Everything else is either on the south side or the north side. There's actually nothing. Well, there's 1 mass point on this eastern plateau, but a lot of the action is going to pretty much occur on the western and eastern lanes. Maybe there'll be some air fights along the middle, but that's about it. I mean, I don't see. There's some avenues of attack, but it's mainly just going to be the east and the west are going to be the main 2 points of contention. T2 In under 5 minutes already started here for Tesla Max. Wants to secure the western approach. All off my reclaim. Spectre Slate being like, hey, move. This is my reclaim. Conversations between the comms are always fun. Look at all the damage output coming from all these Selens. Twitchy Mofo cannot do enough damage. He's focusing on the comm. Smithers is focusing on the little Selens here. And Twitchy Mofo's all the way down in the yellow already at 5.5 minutes. Is Spectre Slave going to just rush for the kill? I think he's going to say, no, this is my reclaim, like he said earlier. Get off my lawn with his little shotgun. Or in this case, a bunch of little tiny machine guns on these little Selens. It's a Tham thrown in there once in a while, but we do have the Calm of Hyper coming to assist as well. So it's not only Seraphim, there is one Cybern player. Will that make a difference? The Seraphim Calm is actually a decent amount stronger than the Calms of the Cybern variety. They have 1,500 more hit points, and so they're able to stave off a little more damage, but again, different upgrades for different Calms. The Hyper has the ability to build the Mazer, the Telemazer, but specifically the Mazer Laser, and that thing does buttloads of damage, which is why there is the Telemazer and why that is mostly effective. Sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. But we do have to the west Team 1 grabbing more of that land, while Team 2, no one's gone for the plateau yet. There's only one Mechs here. I wouldn't be surprised to see either Hyper or Frida. Actually, this would be Spectracid going for this eastern side. But man, he's just pumping out Selens. That is the name of the game here. Rush the opponent with a bunch of bots. I think it was 2 games ago. There's a comment about Zerg Rush, and that's what I feel like is going on right now. For those of you familiar with StarCraft, you'll know what that means, but for those who are not, the Zerg Rush is pretty much you build these little Zerglings, which are little small units, and you throw like 1,000 of them. You can't actually build 1,000, but you just throw a bunch of them and overwhelm your opponent until they just collapse under the weight of all of those units. Because units and structures can only fire so fast and so much. So that's the idea. And these Selens don't do a lot of damage, but you put, 30 of them, which I bet there's even more than that on this eastern side. Nope, it's 29. Still 29. So almost 30. I was almost exactly. That's pretty good. But to the west here, we have conversations with guns and plasma and missiles and whatever else are on these bots here between the players of Darsand and not Smithers, Tesla Max. I have to figure out who is which. Some of the players did appear in the last game. I think Freedom was there. Spectre Slave was there, I think. Twitchy Mofo was definitely there. He was in the middle slot. I think that is it. Rechther was in a match a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. But for those of you loving to watch the Clan FC duke it out, we have at least 4 players on the Clan of FC, so they are here representing that clan this game. Darsand pushing against these units to the west, trying to push onto the comm of Tesla Max, but unfortunately he has a bunch of defenses already in place, a missile defense system. He has flak as well. Doesn't have any PD as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some as these units from Darsand keep pushing that western side. We are at 8.5 minutes. We should be seeing at least some T2 air, at least at some point. Well, we do have T2 air completed here for BRS, and T2 air has not been completed for Freedom. He is focusing on, I don't know what he's focusing on. Eco, maybe? What's his eco at? He's at 100. Wow, okay, never mind. Yeah, he is focusing on eco. No, that's Freedom. Wait, hold on. Maybe, man. Oh, that's weird. So even though on the bar it looks like Spectre Slave is actually a darker color than Freedom. That is so weird. Anyway, that's just the shading on the back, just with the design of the factions, looks a little weird. Apologies for that. Freedom is here and Spectre Slave is there. I didn't introduce them correctly, but then I got confused there. Apologies for that. PD creep going down here to the east for Smithers. He has a radar installation. Very good, sir. Ensuring that he gets a nice little vision. And please please, if either of the teams attack the other team, please go after the intel installations. There's literally 2 on the front line for Team 1, and there's 1 for Team 2. Please hit them. Please destroy them. They're super weak. One shot from pretty much anything will take them out. But there is a push here in the middle from BRS. He is taking out this upper plateau. Has already taken out 4 mechs. Is going to the east to deal with the rest of this expansion for Freedom here. And that's going to slow him down in the eco game. BRS is now winning it by about, I'd say, 6 to 7 mass. Of course, reclaiming all of that kind of throws those numbers in. Team 1 is winning the eco per second game here. Well, no, it keeps changing. But I'd say about 460 to, let's call it an even 400. So 60 mass a second advantage there for Team 1. And that has amounted to about a 15 to 16,000 mass advantage total for Team 1. So it's starting to favor Team 1 in the eco, but we're having a huge move out here from Darsan. He is cut across this plateau. These units are completely out of position, and now they're going to run back. They're going to start intercepting all of those units. They're actually getting some hiccup here on this plateau area. So their speed will be decreased, and there are mantises, these little spider bots, just trying to make their way, taking out Thams and Zooey, and I think that there's an air gun in there as well. So do like to see some air coverage, but this thin string of units is not going to be enough because a lot of these units are not in position to attack, and this is a lot of damage that Tesla Max is getting. But he's going straight for the base here for BRS, or maybe not. Maybe they can't climb that little mountain there. They climbed most of it and then couldn't get around it. Maybe they can go this way. Maybe they can probably go that way, but they can't go this way. And unfortunately, that's going to force them to go to Tesla Max main base. And with the speed of those units reduced and the really weird pathfinding issues, it will look like those will be dealt with here fairly quickly. But there is another force on their way to help support. I don't know if that's going to really get there in time. Combat going down in this southern plateau area. Still a bunch of units being pumped out here from the Freedom, trying to stave off this incoming threat of the Snow White player of BRS. We have some engineers here in the middle just scooping up some reclaim. There are some rocks here on these plateaus. Not a lot, but, every bit of mass does count. But it does look like Freedom is starting to push back those units here from BRS. BRS is getting even more factories online as we speak. Looks like it's, 246 versus 2469? 247, not 9, but he's building more all the time. To the east, Spectre Slave has fallen back. He has a battery of these Uttashalas. Team 1 has pushed him back a little bit, but he's trying to do a counter push with PD. He has this T2 radar factory that should be taken offline. Okay, please hit it. Please destroy it. Okay, good. It's going to be like, why? But that radar installation was taken out. That will set back the vision and intel here for Team 2. You see they still have vision on most of these units here. Of course, there are spy planes hovering overhead for Hyper. Hyper has gone T3 air, and it looks like T3 air is on the way here for Rector. So we have 3 players on Team 2 going air. We have a strap bomber here from Team 1's player BRS. He's going after mass points, going after T2 specifically because one bomb can take out the whole ring. Like the move there. Instead of going after the T3 ones, he goes after the T2 ones. But definitely a better use of the bomber. Takes out another one as well. Looks like it took out 1, 2, 3, just 3 mass points. I think that pays for itself. 300, 300, 300. Yeah, it pays for itself just by a little bit. So if you're wondering the ratio at which you need to at least pay off the bomber that you've thrown at the enemy, take out 3 T2 mass extractors fully ringed, and that will pay itself off. And then a little bit some. Not a whole lot, but you'll come out ahead a little bit. Pumped out another one as well. How are we going for the north? Well, of course, Twitchy Mofo's on the front line for Team 1, so he hasn't gone air. And, of course, Tesla Max hasn't gone T3 land or T3 air as of yet. So Team 1 has the disadvantage of having only 1 player in the air game. Team 2 will have a huge advantage once everybody starts pumping out ASF, bombers, gunships, all of the aircraft. And it does look like Freedom is making some progress here. Those factories are starting to be reduced. The engineers have not been given new orders, or at least have been given orders to help assist in production. It does look like another bomber does make it, takes out, doesn't go for that one. Where's it going? There is an ASF chasing it as we speak. More ASFs here from Hyper. This bomber will not really go anywhere. The bomber and the ASF are off screen. It does look like the bomber died. It died off screen, so you didn't give mass to your opponent, but you also lost all the mass you put into it, so not really a good trade there. T2 radar installation was rebuilt, giving vision to the eastern side for Team 2. On the western side, there is a radar here for Team 2 as well, so they have a decent amount of vision. And now the push in the middle will overwhelm them. T2 units have even been built up here to ensure that Freedom secures this southern plateau. There is a decent amount of mechs to be gained and controlled. And it does even look like there was some assistance here from Darsan. That won't get anywhere, but that just distracts these units long enough to deal, for the units here from Freedom to deal with the other factories. Team 2 has the luxury of having all of the mass be dumped on their side of the field. Team 1 has the luxury of having all of their infrastructure not be attacked. So there is a give and take with that, but Team 1 has skyrocketed in the eco game at 900 mass. Then it'll probably cross will cross 1,000 before 20 minutes. It was pretty close a couple minutes ago, but they just jumped ahead quite quickly. Team 2 on 563. They're down over 300, almost 400 mass a second. And that has amounted to almost an 80,000 mass ahead for Team 1 total accrued. Man, that's a lot of mass to be down this early. But you can't count on mass alone to win you the game. 3 players have gone Team T3 Air. That will be a huge advantage. Lots of ASFs, and then you give all those ASFs to one player, and then he can reckon those super effectively. So it's more of you're investing in your future, so you're taking short-term losses versus short-term gains, but long-term losses if Team 1 doesn't change their tactics here. Sniper bots have made their appearance, starting to puncture that shield position here for Twitchy and Smithers. Again, it's a Seraphim shield. It will take a while to chew through that shield, but of course, not anything can withstand all of the damage, ensuring that there is at least at some point where that shield will fall at some point. There have been, looks like there are engineers trying to assist the shield. No, assisting the con. No, they're assisting the con, building up some artillery to counter the sniper bots here on the east. There's no shield here, so those sniper bots will be hit fairly easy. They are super weak. They're very similar to the Mongeese from the UEF, except better range. I'd just say better unit. Just altogether, the sniper bot. They're more focused on single fire damage versus a rapid fire gun that could miss a lot. Does look like the units here I think they were from Freedom were control K'd, so he's going to actually scoop up the mass from those units. Doesn't need them anymore, and then he just control K's all these factories. He does keep the T2. That is probably a good idea. That is a good idea to ensure he does have some presence here on this plateau. And it is T2, so he'll be able to fight off any more incursions quite quickly. And then he control K's all these walls, so his teammate here from Spectre Slave can move in on these missiles. I love the use of recycling, reuse, and recycle. Not reduce, because you want to pump out more and more, but at least reuse and recycle. I keep saying that like we do reuse, reduce, recycle, because that was ingrained in my head when I was younger. But 2 of those 3 do apply. Of course, in FAF, you want to pump out anything and everything you can, so reducing is not what you want to do. In fact, you want to outproduce. A Monkey has been starting here for Tesla Max, has T3 land as well. Still, no other player on Team 1 has gone air as of yet. BRS does have a decent amount of mass income. Actually, he's actually been dwarfed by Smithers now at 400. And so it looks like Smithers might go on the air game. Yep, he has gone T2. He's building up some Natha fighter bombers is what it looks like. Maybe going for a sniper on the comm of Spectre Slave to the east. That'd be a huge grab for Team 1 if they could get that comm. Gonna have a power vacuum here on the east. Force the player of Hyper to focus on the land more than the air. Divert his attention more and more kind of thing. But does look like not... West has seen action, but it's kind of been like, we'll throw some units at you. We'll sit here. Then we'll throw some units at you. We'll sit here. So there's not really a lot of land game going on, land grab going on in the west. It's more of not really, honestly, a whole lot. This is where most of the action has been, at least in terms of back and forth. We had that one push here to the west, but that was about it. A bunch of mech marines. What is Maximus planning here? Well, it might be that he's just going to pump out a bunch of them and then just push forward with a bunch of cannon fodder. That, I think, is going to be the case. We'll have Tesla Max microing the heavier, slower units, while Maximus focuses on the very quick, very weak units. We do have a couple of sniper bots, and they are firing backwards. Oh, no, they're not. It just looked like they were. And they're going to actually start retreating. The mech marines are just designed to soak up any incoming fire while the bricks and royalists get closer. I do like that tactic there, so not all the bricks just take all the damage, because you can overkill a target. So let's say the sniper bot does 1,000 damage, which is, obviously ridiculous, but one shot, regardless if there's 60 hit points or 1,000 hit points, it'll take one shot to kill it. Well, if you have 1,000 targets, it's going to take a while to choose those 1,000 targets versus 100 targets. So cannon fodder, target saturation is definitely something that our players need to be mindful here, especially going off of high single fire damage versus rapid fire damage. And that's the difference between the Percy and all of the other T3 bots. But it looks like that push once again occurs. Looks like there is a couple of trebuchet trying to reduce enemy reinforcements, enemy emplacements. And all these little mech marines with all the little guns on them trying to whittle down this Ilshi all by its lonesome. Of course, a couple shots takes out mech marines, but again, an infinite amount of mech marines versus one Ilshi will eventually kill that Ilshi. Artillery, being a thorn in Spectre Slave's side here to the east, has a T2 defense. I was going to say defense satellite, but tactical missile defense. I don't know if there's been a lot of missiles. It doesn't look like the artillery has the range here for Smithers to really attack much of anything. Yep, it can only attack up to here. So it will force back Spectre Slave because he's worried about the artillery and PD creep. But I don't really see that really going anywhere unless they push it even more, which I don't think they will right now. I think they'll just keep that as kind of a no man's land. But the push to the west will keep moving forward. The monkey was built and will push the western side, the first experimental of the game. I don't see anything as of yet. We have an SMD here underneath shield coverage and underneath the cliffside. Love the placement of that, ensuring you get a dual defense of land and shield. I should say environment and shield to make it a little easier for myself to remember that. Oh yeah, it's not land shielding. I guess it's land shielding, but it's more using your environment to your advantage, which is definitely something that I struggle with sometimes because I like to play like this. Can't always, for like the macro kind of thing, and it's kind of hard to notice all that sometimes. This map it's easier, but on other maps where the shading and everything is not as defined, it really makes it difficult. The monkey does have a longer range gun on it. Not very powerful, but it does just annoy units pretty much. It can kill a sniper bot fairly quickly though, so Darsan will retreat his forces here. He's using the monkey as a long-range sniper bot pretty much. The sniper bot will have to retreat, and this will force ASF coverage here to the west, ensuring that there's some bombers or gunship or something going to be built up here. There is a chicken. Now, I think, if I am correct, the chicken will kill the monkey first on a one-to-one fight, just due to the hit points alone. But I think if the monkey gets in range with the laser before, then the monkey has a fighting chance. The chicken to the east here for Smithers is pushing that front line here for Spectre Slave. All of his forces will retreat. I feel like he almost has enough to deal with that chicken, but he doesn't want to risk using them. He wants to wait for the monkey to finish, which it's almost done. And that will definitely push back this chicken here, especially because there's not a lot of assistance. There's some shields and some AA, but that is about it. The monkey here to the west is about to engage the chicken if the chicken decides to keep moving forward, which it will. There is a shield. Long-range guns dealing with the Ilshis first. The lightning tank would be a good grab here, denying anti-air coverage. But the chicken is the primary target of the monkey. The monkey has another brother here to the west. this first monkey will fall fairly quickly. You can see those hit points just shatter on that chassis. Bricks and Loyalists are being pushed forward, especially with assistance from the Titans. And this will be enough to deal with this chicken. But it looks like the chicken might actually get 2 of the monkeys first. A bunch of T1 bombers and restorers for Rector will do a lot of damage. That monkey is now down. The bricks and other units here, I think it will be enough to kill the chicken. But this is 2 monkeys for 1 chicken. I feel like that is worth the mass trade, especially with all the other units. You have 10,000 mass pretty much per monkey. To the east, how are we going? Well, that monkey has been built. The chicken just decides to brute force his way through that front line, avoiding all of these units to the north, and will now push on the resourcing options. And I think it's going after the comm directly. The chicken still has a decent amount of hit points left. There are some Corsairs being spammed up to help assist in defense. Let's go back to this. Pretty much that fight to the west is pretty much petered out. That chicken will not make it. With the amount of firepower coming from the sky and the ground, it will not matter. The comm is pinged. Shots were fired. It's not enough. And that will just dump mass for Team 2. What are you doing, says BRS. In relation to the chicken, yep. Get back. BRS trying to help. Feel like it's not worth it. To the west, it's worth it, though. That front line has cracked. And now AA is starting to make its appearance to deal with all of these restorer gunships. Bunch of mech marines, of course, they are just annoying in large numbers as any of these little, light assault bots or the intel bots like the Serenities are just annoying in large numbers. See, this is where Cerberus turrets would be highly effective, but I don't think there's any. Are there any? There's not any Cyberns on the western side of the map here. I think the other Cybern, yeah, it's in the middle. So there's not any Cerberus turrets readily available here for Team 2 on the western side. But they have gunships, but they have to worry about AA, so... And they have to worry about bouncers and flak, so definitely something to prioritize, which they try to, but there's just too much coverage and they're forced back as well. Another monkey on approach as well. Team 1 on the western side pumping out experimentals and obviously the mech marine push. Looks like the monkey was given over to Spectre Slave, unless that was a different monkey, which I don't think it is. I think it's the same monkey. There's another chicken for Team 1 from Smithers. That's going to fall back. Smithers has actually built a SMD here. Wants to commit a lot of his resources here to the east. Do they know about something that I don't? Well, to the west, there's a bunch of bombers and gunships still trying to reduce this push here to the west here from Team 1. Mech Marines are getting in. Target the engineers first. Reduce the amount of build power that they have available to them. I saw a shot from a Percy. We saw I see the notification for an experimental. It's from Twitchy He is Cybern, so he should be building a chicken. And this monkey will get here. ASF coverage over the top to deal with the ASFs here for Team 1. We have an ASF fight for the first time in the game at 27 minutes. No one has died yet at 27 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised if players get to 30 minutes, but who knows? Maybe someone has a telemaser. And just as I say something, Smithers gets killed off by Hyper. And it looks like it was... said... Oh, it was... No, that's Team 1's nuke. The SMD is still online. It looks like it was Corsair Snipe. So literally, caster curse. I made a comment about something, and then it happened. Like, apologies for missing it, but we know what killed them. We saw those Corsairs built up earlier from the chicken, so I should have noticed that they would be used later on. Didn't have enough AA coverage and enough shield coverage, and therefore will lose a comm. Goes from a 5v5 to a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. Team 2 needed a win here. They are behind in mass, already at 2.76 K mass at 27 minutes. It just goes to show how many mexes are on this map. And Darsan gets eliminated to the west by some bricks and other units. So now this drops to a 4v4, and Nuke, says Smithers. So Team 2 has a nuke and Team 1 has a nuke from the same players, mind you. But the nuke for Team 1 has pretty much finished. Do they have any anti-nukes? They don't. And I think I know where that nuke is going. There it is. Is it going for it? Yes, it is. The comm of Rector is under threat. The nuke will launch, and Rector's actually going to walk in that direction unless he walks to the east. It looks like he's walking to the northeast. ASF did win that fight for Team 1. And man, it's not really looking good for Team 2. They've lost the Western player. They've lost a lot of infrastructure here because of this one monkey. The monkey gets in, target the air grid, target that air grid. That's going to be a huge loss for Team 2. The nuke will land. The comm is nowhere in sight, so this will land. Let's get the little symbols out of the way. Kaboom! The counter nuke for Team 2 gets eradicated. Love the placement there. They found it just in time. There's even a brick still online. And that monkey has officially been defeated. Takes out one PGen. Almost kills a couple other ones, but doesn't able to get that cascade effect. So there's a couple of, mass for Team 2 to scoop up. But they've lost 2 players to the west. Pretty much both of their bases. They're consolidating power here in the southeast now. And it's not really looking good for them. They are literally backed into a corner. They do have a monkey here to the middle of the map. They don't want to charge that position here, which they honestly could have. There's a chicken. Well, I guess the chicken would win it, though. That's kind of fair. So probably not the best idea, especially with all that PD. No scratch what I was saying. But there's a secondary SMD built up here. T3 Air Factory. Of course, it was Smithers. So the player of BRS has access to Seraphim and Cybrin Tech. In terms of T3 Air, maybe he'll go for Awasha. Maybe he'll go for... He won't go for Bug. And Bug isn't going to use that effectively, or that much, honestly. It's used effectively when it's used. Thank you, Smithers. Thank you for pointing out that your teammate who just took over your airfield should build the Awasha. Thank you. Appreciate it. See, I just got to say something about it, and most of the time it happens. It's kind of weird. But ASF for Team 1 from BRS are locking Team 2 out of ASF. Some ASF just come off the line here for Hyper, but you saw them fly all the way down there, pretty much kill everything that was there, and then left. The monkey is not protected in the air. The chicken will fall back to deal with the monkey. Of course, we also have that nuke here from Team 1's player of Maximus. That might be under threat here. He's building a Novax as well and SMD. Things go down here, probably from Team 2. Calm, says Darsand. Yep, the calm is there. Or maybe there's a telemazer on the cards. Team 2 is bleeding on this western side. A bunch of AA. There's Percy's, there's bricks just leaking into that western side of the map. Is Hyper going for telemazer? He's over here. He's teleported in, going after the comm of BRS. Good thing I looked something out. BRS can't get around that PGen. That's going to be another kill here for Team 2, dropping this game to a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. Hyper will teleport out there fairly quickly. Where's he going next? Is he going somewhere else? Nope, looks like he's going home. He went home. Sniping is so lame, says Smithers. Yeah, well, it happens. But you can see he tried to get around that environment from this ion reactor, but he just couldn't get around it fast enough, and he got killed for it. There were auto guns nearby. Just he walked out of range just for a second, and that got him killed. Why not just play dual gap or something? No, I mean, dual gap is fine. It's not the best map on the game. I think I'd rather play Settins than dual gap, honestly. My opinion, of course. Why not get good at protecting your comm while there is some salt? There is some salt going on, or you could just play Supremacy if you don't want to do snipes. But the comm of Hyper goes after the comm of Maximus XXX, but then the comm of Hyper gets killed by... It's actually a kill after death by the satellite. Just the dumbest thing, says Smithers. Yeah, it happens. Oh, interesting fact. I didn't notice. I think... Oh, that's interesting. So when a player with a Novax dies, the satellite redeploys. I didn't know that. Maybe I knew that. I just didn't notice it. But, man, I was like, I wonder if he's going to teleport again. And then he comes home like, oh, maybe he's just going to hold off for a little bit. And then he teleports again and kills the comm of Maximus XXX. But he gets Maximus gets revenge, immediately gets a kill from beyond the grave. And now it's just a sea of yellow and some purple for Team 1. And this has given Twitchy Mofo everything to play with pretty much. He has 2-point K mass himself. Okay, if you don't build a YOLO, if you don't build a Scathis, if you don't build a Maver, what are you doing with all that mass? There's no way you can spend all that mass. No, he cannot spend. He has 1,500 mass that he's just bleeding every second. Spend that mass. Build something. Build everything. Build 30 Novaxes. Build shields. Build literally everything. Doesn't matter where it is. Just build it somewhere. And Team 2, again, still consolidating power here to the southeast. They're starting to reclaim. Rector is starting to just try to, hang out over here to the south. Has produced a Galactic Colossus, though, but it's facing a crab, and there's a lot of damage already on the Colossus, and that will fall. There are some gunships here to deal with that crab threat, and that's really only going to go one way. There's a Monkey Lord back there here for Tesla Max. But essentially, it's a 1v3 with some assistance from Tesla Max. Actually, 1v4, essentially. With Rector still has some infrastructure in place, but doesn't have as much as he would like. Kind of surprised. He's actually leaving, ensuring his comm doesn't get caught unaware. It's probably going to come back here to the southeast corner. The match yesterday, at one point, all three remaining comms for one team were in the same pond. If one nuke landed in that pond, game would have been over. Which, to me, is just crazy. You don't want to put literally all of your eggs in one basket. And so just something to be aware of, even if you're not, you're focused on your microing units or eco or whatever. Like once in a while, be like, oh, where's my comm? Oh, he's over there. Oh, he's next to the other two comms. I should probably move it. Does look like there's a push here, but this facility here for Twitchy Mofo that was built here by Smithers is holding. Multiple chickens have gone down. Another one looking like to try to size up against this push. A couple of Utashalas have been taken out. There are still some PD. It's starting to be weakened. Would like to see a little more emphasis for Twitchy Mofo to put something here. A lot of the battle has occurred here on the east, at least early on. Give NGs to Wreck. Scathis says Smithers. So Team 2, the team that has less mass per second, is thinking about ending the game, and they're building a Scathis as we speak. The laser, the space laser, has taken out a section of an air grid. I love the use of going for targets not shielded, especially like go after these mass FAFs. You kill a couple of those, and that kills off a T3 extractor. But he's going for the air production facilities, reducing the combat effectiveness of his opponent. Nuke, says Smithers. They have another nuke in the back line. Just finished up building the silo itself, and now they have to build the actual missile. What is Twitchy Mofo planning? He's spamming up a bunch of air facilities, pumping out ASF as quickly as he can. There it is. That's what I was looking for. There's a YOLO on the field. What will finish first, the YOLO or the Scathis? I kind of like the positioning. I don't like what's around it, but I like the positioning of the shields where they're covering each side of the Scathis to ensure, at least most of the Scathis, just to ensure that there's somewhat dual coverage. I would like to see more shields put here, and maybe just get rid of the Pigeons on this western and eastern side and the mass fabs. Just because one explosion, that could probably, I think they're in range of that Scathis, but you don't want to risk it. But it looks like pings go down to take out the shield generator and then the Guardian SMD here in the southeast. Does Team 1 still have a nuke? Nope, it's gone. But Scathis. Novax are being built up. I mean, he's got to spend that mass somehow. Still has so much mass to spend. He doesn't have a lot of energy, though. He's actually losing energy as we... Oh, he's fixing it. How is that YOLO going? It's just started. So which one will finish first, the YOLO or the Scathis? Right now, it looks like actually the YOLO might finish first. The Scathis isn't building fairly quickly. A bunch of facilities are being spammed up, probably to pump out Mantis or other spam to just hold off the enemy. We have 3 crabs to the west, pushing this front line here to the west for Tesla. I feel like Tesla should just give control of the whole western side. Sorry, Twitchy Mofo should give Tesla Max the whole western side just to micro that a lot better. ASF fight here to the east. There's a dual chicken push with assisting engineers to spam up some T3 anti-air defense. They're not SAMs. I could still call them SAMs, but they're technically not SAMs. So again, I'll do my best to not call them SAMs. But there's only one chicken here, and there's really no defenses after that. And that's looking kind of scary. Team 1's player of Twitchy Mofo is going to spam up something else. One chicken is not going to cut it. We even have a bunch of Optims to the east taking out T3 Extractors. Granted, Twitchy Mofo can't spend all his mass, so not the worst concern, but a huge advantage here from these ASF here from Freedom. I was going to say Spectre Slave, but they are from Freedom. And they caught these ASF here from Twitchy Mofo unawares. And they got a lot of damage, and a lot of those numbers were killed off without any casualties. Some casualties were incurred, but not as many as if those ASF were properly macroed. The first crab to the west will fall to the crab here from Tesla Max. And again, keep pushing that western side is what Team 2 was thinking. This is a weaker side in terms of attention, but this is the weaker side in terms of defense. The chicken is already gone. There's 2 more chickens in reserve. It's not looking good for Team 1 on this eastern side. They have a bunch of engineers pumping. Okay, they're going to pump out chickens, which, you know, is effective, of course. Pumping out 1,000 of anything is effective for the most part. T3 Omni here in the middle. T3 Omni here for Tesla. For Twitchy Mofo. The chicken push has commenced. There's really nothing here. The SMD had 3, almost 4 anti-nukes loaded. That's going to fall fairly quickly. The second one protecting the YOLO is right here. Not under shield coverage. Probably should fix that, but at least it's nearby the YOLO. That's something. To the south, that nuke, how's it going? Well, it's about half loaded. It doesn't look like there's a huge priority. There's some, but not a huge priority. Satellites focusing on taking out more shield emitters. The scathis taking more shape. It's at 1,500 hit points. Still, Team 1 has the advantage in the air for now. They're not really using it. Otham is becoming still a nuisance. And they're going to probably take out at least 1, if not 2 more T3 mass extractors and a decent amount of AA emplacements. I don't know what Twitchy Mofo is doing. He shouldn't divert his focus so much between both fields of war, between the western and the east. Give one player the west, keep the east. That's where most of your infrastructure is anyway. I think that's where his main base was originally as well. Yeah, he's pumping out chickens as fast as he can. He has 1 almost done here. He has 1 over here. He has 1 over here. So defenses are coming online, and in terms of mobile, but he needs some emplacements as well. Get some Utsusalas, get some Ravagers if you can get some engineers. Another airfight over here to the west. There's a lot more yellow than there's Batman Gray. Turns aren't really super great here. I don't know if Freedom is just throwing his ASF away. I really don't know what's going on. They want to protect the crabs, of course, but there's a huge amount of Medusa on their way. 192 to be exact at the current moment. So that is the plan for the west, is spam everything. To the east, it's like the same, except with Othams and T3 units. There's a couple of Zooey getting into the front lines here. There's a huge amount of ASF that just died. I don't know if that was, I'm assuming that was Twitchy Mofo's, but it could have been somebody else's. Could have been Freedom's. I don't know. I feel like that was Twitchy Mofo's. But again, to the west, 2 of the crabs have died. The third one's about to fall. This crab is about to fall, just due to the amount of incoming additional fire. This one has a rank adventure seat. It will probably gain another one. Yep, gained another one fairly quickly after that kill. Team 2 looking pretty solid. Can't Freedom, you're missing a there's a hole there. There's a hole there. It looks like that looks like a prefab. It looks like a could have just built that on the fly. It kind of does look like he built it on the fly too. But it's just funny. There's that one little slit in the middle that's just missing missing some protection. Might want to fix that if there's a Maver, which there's not. The Maver, I mean, the T3 already could still hit it, but the Maver could hit it a lot better because it's more accurate. But a bug appears for the western side for Tesla Max. I mean, that's what the ASF are guarding, is this gunship here. A ton of spy planes are coming to the west. More strats. Twitchy says Spectre Slave. Calm says Darsan. So Darsan from the grave still helping out his team. And even the player that's one of the players still left alive for Team 2 helping out his team with, like, hey, there's a calm right there. Remember, it is a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. We are at 42 minutes. We haven't seen T3 already yet, which either team could have built by now. We're just seeing a bunch of Othams, bunch of chickens, crabs, and a bunch of Medusa for standard ASF. And that's really about it. We have a YOLO and we have a Scathis. The Scathis is not the priority right now. It honestly probably should be. They can't win with it, but they definitely can do a whole lot with it, of course. Just getting a nice little screenshot of the Scathis, possibly for the thumbnail. I like to get screenshots of the game and kind of promote it that way versus while I'm doing the cast to like showcase. I don't know, just I kind of like taking the thumbnail down the video just so you guys can see like I'm thinking about what I want to be the face of this video during the game while the game is occurring. I make sure the game doesn't have any desyncs, of course, but I'm not focusing on like what's in the game particularly because I want to be surprised too because this is kind of like a dual. I'm like watching a game and also doing a video, a cast at the same time, kind of like, you know, a 2-for-1, but I can't just fully enjoy it because then I just get distracted by the game itself and miss other things. But then I want to, you know, provide a quality product for everyone, a good video and whatnot. So I love doing these. It's just it's just sometimes where it's like I also, you know, that's why I also enjoy watching Guile's videos and the Duelist videos and Duelist Willow's videos as well, just because I still like to enjoy watching it without casting it at the same time. So I like both parts. I really love this game. It's a very good game. I can't say like really bad things about it. I mean, it's, you know, it's the difference between what it was when it first released back in the mid 2000s to what it is now is just, you know, the core gameplay is still the same, but units have changed, balancing has changed, you know, more units have been added, and all the mods that we have now with like Phantom and Black Ops and all that, there's just so many, you know, additions to the community that they have added. It's just amazing. We have attack missile snipe here from Wrecker. How many does he have so far? 4, 8, 9, 10. I think he's going for the calm of Twitch. Mofo doesn't have any TMD, but does have a decent amount of shields. So those missiles got to crack the shield. And now they've built a T3 Omni fairly far forward for Team 2. They're going to use that to scout out the enemy. There are 5 chickens for defense. They are making sure nothing passes. There are 4 chickens here for Spectre Slave. I don't think that's enough. I mean, T1 literally has the numbers advantage. But once one of them starts dying, more of them are grouped up here for Team 2 than they are for Team 1. This will be a hard thing for Team 2 to deal with. 1 will go forward. These ones will have to fall back to avoid the Ion Storm. Because of that, they're not out of position, and they'll be able to deal with more of those incoming forces. To the west, a bunch of Percivals. We have some Loyalists. We should see some Bricks here soon, too, and Titans. They do a lot of rapid-fire damage and all that stuff. A bunch of gunships were built up here in the, or spammed up here in the middle. A lot of them will fall. There's no ASF protection. They're going for T3 mass emplacements. Honestly, at this point, I mean, Team 2 has clawed back and is now ahead in the mass game. But since one player has 1.7 mass a second, 1.7 thousand mass a second, it just makes a whole bunch of difference. And the YOLO is almost done. It's in the green at 10,000 hit points. Scathis says Darth Sand. All right, where'd it go? Oh, it was taken out. Oh, that's gotta hurt. It was taken out by the satellites. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. It wasn't super far, you know, completed, but that's going to set back Team 2 in the game ender stage. They're making a lot of ground in the, you know, land grab game, but they can't crack the 6 chickens that are now on the front line. Nuke launch has been issued. Where's it going? It's going for the air grid. Strat bombers over the top, taking out SMD. It looks like that would be my target with the nuke. They're going after the air grid over here, and then the next one's going to land up here to the west. It will reduce Team 1's ASF by a lot. And the YOLO was sniped. The YOLO was sniped by the calm of Wreckather. Still can't be able to say his name right. So both teams now don't have access to the T4 experimental game ender stage. That has got to hurt. ASF's just charging in. Miss a bunch of strat bombers, but they're going after the ASF. A second nuke launches, so they held 2 nukes. And a third nuke launches? Where's the third nuke coming from? But SpectreSafe has been eliminated by Twitchy Mofo by all of these satellites, dropping this game now to an even 2v2. The air grid will fall. Will the strat bombers get out in time? Yes, they will. So at least he got something out of it at the last second, but a lot of damage has occurred on both sides of the map. There's also strat bombers here to the south. Those probably helped break that position here to take out the combo Spectre Slave. Where are the strat bombers going now? They're probably going for this little air grid that's not protected. Don't put all of your bombs in one location. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Definitely a disadvantage there. SAM site's being spammed up as we speak. Nuke launch detonates here. Almost takes out that Soul Ripper. But the ASF's just trying to protect the strat bombers as best they can. Not really a whole lot. Of course, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Novaxes. This site is going to be a heavy target for Team 2 to go after. They don't have any SMD. They have one right here, but they probably shouldn't have one here. They're at 2, 4, 6, 7 Novaxes. That's a lot of Novaxes. The target is the main air grid, it looks like, or the secondary air grid down here, one of the two. Nope, they're targeting the main air grid. They're focusing the top right-hand corner of it. There is, multi-layered coverage here. It's going to take a while to chew through all of those shields. Might as well have T3 already at this point. Strat bombers are on approach for the comm of Twitchy Mofo. He is moving as we speak. He's under shield coverage still, but there's not a lot of anti-air support here. The comm of Record gets annihilated by strat bombers. Twitchy Mofo standing next to a Pigeon. Not a good idea, but then another shield comes online, but he still gets taken out by the explosion from that Pigeon, and now it is a 2v1. Actually, it's a 1v1, excuse me. In this game at 48 minutes, GG says Twitchy Mofo. It is now Tesla Max versus the likes of C2118 Freedom. It's a 1200 versus an 1800. Ranking doesn't mean a whole lot, but it does make a difference. There are 2 of those chickens died, and the ion streams are going off. It does look like it is a partial share game. The units for either teams were annihilated, but the infrastructure and the engineers remain. So now it's just a contest of who can outproduce the other one in terms of, well, everything. Mass is pretty much the same. Team 1 has accrued a lot more mass, but at this stage, that doesn't really matter. We have 149,000 in the mass bar here for Tesla, and Freedom has 130,000. Move them now. Go. I don't know where they're going. I think they're going after the mass, I think, but there's a bunch of Lobos. No, sorry, not Lobos. Medusa. Where is he? Gets spy plane. Another nuke gets launched. Where is this one going? I don't think I saw the target. Okay, it's going for the... Where's it going? For this base over here? Well, there is an SMD, and it is loaded. So that one's going to get shot out of the sky. But how many of these does he still have? He still has all 7 of them. This is gonna hurt. Rascom's just patrolling the field, looking for mass to grab. Another nuke gets launched. Here, actually it was here, that's where it was. Couldn't see it with the all that stuff and the Intel installation being just right next to it. But it is going for this position here to the west, taking out some engineers and some T3 air facilities. A bunch of strat bombers this game. There are so many strat bombers. There are so many of them this game. That was probably the main tactic of both teams here, was strat bombers. They've taken out multiple comms. Kaboom. Takes out a decent chunk of that spam. Not a whole lot, but a decent chunk. Looks like the strat bombers are on approach. Let's grab one of them and hit the follow button. There we go. And then take all the icons off. Actually, can't take that icon off. Take off that icon. Nope, I have to take that one off. There we go. That's better. Let's see where this one goes. The first one will get shot out of the sky, maybe. Nope, the one in the back does. Track this one. They'll have to change targets. There's an eye over the top. This one we have to track. They're going after the Novaxes. Bombs are dropped. but it just wasn't enough. There weren't that many built up. There's another wing of them. Are they going to get a target? Now they're going after, I think, a different one, but there's still a lot of SAM sites here. They are flares. They are SAM sites. One of the shields falls. The next one, nope, doesn't fall as well. And it's turning here. Did I turn all the symbols on? Yeah, I did. Okay, just for some reason it didn't look like I turned them on. Oh, because I'm still on freedom. Okay, I was like, why can't I shoot the shields? That strap bomber rush was an attempt, but there's just too much shield coverage, and now there's even going to be more shield coverage. So it definitely was not the best move there. We have a Soul Ripper and a chicken just running by this other chicken. This should be a target of opportunity here for Team 1, but there's not really a lot of AA nearby. Chicken does make it past, but the other chicken from Team 1 will take it out. There's also some Utashalas as well. Again, not a lot of AA coverage. There's a couple nearby, but there's just not in range to deal with that Soul Ripper. Team 2's player of C2118 Freedom starting to lose his massively built air facility. The shield is not covered by the... Oh, the Pigeon's not covered by the shields. Oh, no. More lasers just constantly thrown, and it takes out a lot of the shield generator's capacity. They're targeting the next one. This one's starting to lose its coverage as well. Ooh, that's not going to feel good there. For that, okay, why is it? No, stop saying it's tracking. But ASF's come over the top to help protect that bug. The bug does fall. This position here for Team 1 will be taken out. There's still a lot of infrastructure for both teams, but a scathis. What is this? Oh, I completely missed this. Apologies for that. There is a scathis at the back side of the map. That is a huge game changer here for Team 1. With the assistance of the scathis and the Novaxes, this position will fall. A counter scathis has been built, and they're not focusing on that. They're focusing on the air grid. A nuke to the west has been launched. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, it's going to fall short. I was like, are those Novaxes going to be taken out? Because there's not an SMD here. That's a huge missed opportunity. That SMD cannot cover this. And now another nuke here from Team 1 gets launched. Where is this one going? But there's not a nuke. Oh, I don't know what the nuke is. Oh, but there's no SMD here. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's all I hear in my head. Nuke will launch. Kaboom. Nice little pulsating wave. Bugs being used for defense against the crabs. The crabs are targeting the SMD. Will they get it in time? No, they're targeting the shields instead. Now it's targeting the SMD. Okay. The Scathis was annihilated by some strat bombers. Oh, man. Just as Team 1 gets an advantage, Team 2's player of C2118 Freedom knocks it out. They are still building their Scathis. Where are the lasers? They're going after the Calm of Freedom. They found him. And it's not looking good for him. Gotta find him, says Twitchy Mofo. That's pretty much the only way either player's gonna win, at least right now. The nuke almost gets knocked out, but stays online. Which it is a risky play to put a bunch of P-gens around it. But the Calm of Freedom is exposed. They're taking out shield generators as we speak. They're targeting the mass fab to get a nice AoE explosion. Oh, is it gonna be enough? Falling below 10,000. 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 kills the Calm of Freedom with Novaxes, while the nuke just gets launched in the air with strat bombers to assist it, and it was going for the nuke launcher here. I feel like not the worst play of the game, but the play that could have pretty much won it for Freedom was had he used his nuke here to target the Novaxes. There was no SMD here. And that could have, this was, all of them were in this one location, all 7 of them. And man, that's that's got to hurt. He's probably looking at it like, dang it, should have gone for that instead. Can he see that? Yeah, he can see there's nothing here. And man, that's got to hurt. He was pretty close to winning. The Calm of Tesla Max was about to retreat. He could tell that it was under threat. It was the target. The SMD was taken out. There's pretty much no SMD on the field here. There was one in the corner. There's one for Team 1. Team 2 had a bunch more of them, strewn out. But this right here, Freedom was underneath shield coverage. The last volley of the Scathis comes in. deals with a lot of the shield coverage, and then the lasers can come in and finish off the comm. Thank you so much to everyone watching. I greatly appreciate the support and watching to the end of the video with all my little rants and comments and stuff. Thank you so much. Please like and comment down below what your favorite moment was, or if you'd like to see maybe a particular game. I am thinking about starting a new series on the channel. Let me know if you guys have any ideas, whether it be bar, whether it be like an XCOM style game, or like a 4X series like Civilization or anything like that. Please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see else on the channel. I'm trying to diversify just a little bit, but don't worry, I am still going to put out FAF content pretty much every day. So again, don't worry that your little hearts out. I might even put a poll out maybe, and when we hit 500 or something. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Just I can't say thank you enough, and I will see every one of you. And yes, I am talking to you in the next one.